Yes, good morning. This is League for Republic Democracy of Australia. This is Chief President Harry J. Stiller, the League for Republic Democracy of Australia. Long live League for Republic Democracy of Australia, LFDRA.org. So there's a new look website at League for Republic Democracy of Australia at LFDRA.org. There's open listings of all site pages and can be found at the top and bottom of the site on all pages. I'm current Chief President Harry J. Stiller. We have our 8.5% tax rate slide of direction on the website, lfdra.org/Australian wage minimum, our future direction with the Minister for Fair Work Accountability, increasing Australian wage minimum and standard and ending slavery in Australia. Long live League for Republic Democracy of Australia. And we also have the solar power generation, complementary 8 kilowatt. Also, you can go to structure of rollout page. If LFDRA League for Republic Democracy of Australia were to form government in this country, you can go to more times two, go to structure of rollout. And at the structure of rollout page on League for Republic Democracy of Australia, there's past videos. You can watch the founding videos from the first video all the way through to the 16th video on structure of rollout. So if a League for Republic Democracy of Australia government were to form, it would be Republic of Australia. There would be a structure of rollout, a Chief President, portfolio of responsibility, Republic of Australia, with international diplomacy, command oversight directives, oversight to the Prime Minister. I'm the current Chief President, Harry J. Stiller, League for Republic Democracy of Australia, LFDRA.org, command oversight directives to the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister's portfolio of responsibility would be the Republic of Australia and portfolio of ministry oversight to the ministries. So Ministry of Portfolio Oversight, Portfolio of Responsibility Oversight, Ministry Cabinet, put Australia first in all things on planet Earth. There would be a Minister for Taxation and Refund. That would be a portfolio of responsibility, an 8.5% tax rate from Australian wage minimum, 11.5% tax rate for businesses over the 1,000 millions per fiscal year, and creation of honest and fair refund. A Minister for Policy Delivery with a portfolio of responsibility, including a Minister for Fair Work Accountability and a directive of a portfolio of responsibility, ending slavery entrapment with a wage minimum in Australia at $79,000 per year, with 4 weeks paid holiday and 12 personal days a year in federal legislature, the first sitting day and Fair Work Commission follow-up compliance, as well as the $50,000 fines that employees in Australia are underpaid, as well as the 15% superannuation on top of that, starting from the 8.5% tax rate, and accountability for employer breaches and practices of slavery within Australia, and the protection of an Australian wage minimum in Australia at $33 per hour. Also a Minister for Household Solar with a portfolio of responsibility. Also a Minister for Australia-wide driver's licensing centres. And we'll also have a Minister for MyGov service delivery. You can also go to more times two, which is structure of rollout, and you can go through that portfolio of responsibility that would be given to the Minister for MyGov service delivery under a League for Republic Democracy of Australia government if we were to become Republic of Australia at the next federal election with a landslide win to League for Republic Democracy of Australia in this country. We would be Republic of Australia. So basically, and ensuring segregation does not occur of the modern 3 or 4 bedroom complementary residential rollout by billionaire media moguls. We would be the Republic of Australia. Will not. If Australia was to become Republic of Australia, would not need a Queen's representative or a resident of England presiding over Republic of Australia. Even the Monarchist League has said Australia needs its independence, as well as ending residential home repossession strategies in business. So the Monarchist League doesn't say as well as ending residential home repossession strategies in business. But the Monarchist League has said Australia needs its independence. So as well as ending residential home repossession strategies in business, property portfolio strategies, ending rental residential slavery, also a Minister for Communication, a portfolio of responsibility, Minister for Military Defence with a portfolio of responsibility, Minister for the Protection of Health, protects health and long life ageing of Australians, Minister for Treasury and Homeland Security, under a League for a Public Democracy of Australia government. If we were to form government, if there were enough with a landslide victory to the League for a Public Democracy of Australia, this is what we would put in place. Also a Minister for Education and the Arts, Minister for Trade and Diversity, Minister for Policy Delivery, Minister for Business, Minister for Population Growth, Minister for Australia First. That's put Australia first in all things on planet Earth, with independence to Republic of Australia. And there'll be a portfolio of responsibility for Minister for Australia First under a Republic of Australia, under a League for a Public Democracy of Australia government. Minister for Decreasing Corruption, Minister for Science and Transport, and a Minister for Infrastructure Delivery. So you can see down the bottom of more times 2 on the website, more times 2. There is a Chief President, which is me. I am Chief President Harry J. Stiller of the League for a Public Democracy of Australia, lfdra.org website. So basically the side, there's slides of direction by Chief President Harry J. Stiller and everything on beneath start of Republic of Australia. So the Republic of Australia, the rollout and structure of rollout. If League for a Public Democracy of Australia were to have a landslide winning victory at the next election and Australia became the Republic of Australia. So you can scroll through the entire League for a Public Democracy of Australia. If you have a few hours, you can watch the founding video events that have got this website to where it is today and the policy that we put forward to deliver the future prosperity for all Australians under a League for a Public Democracy of Australia government, which is a Republic of Australia, and the policies we put forward for the protection of Australia's interests and the protection of prosperity within Australia, and decreasing, also a Minister for decreasing corruption as well, as 80% of the population, as all other political brands within Australia lobbied for 80% renting homelessness in Australia. So yeah, you can go through the whole website. That's League for a Public Democracy of Australia today. There's more. There's complementary residential, Australian wage minimum, solar power generation, age pensions, 8.5% tax rate, ministry portfolios if we were to win, promotion, education slide, Australia, ending chemical warfare, Wentworth, mentality liberal Labor, 2019 election, ending slavery, Australia, outlawing Japanese trade, putting Australia first, our candidates, politics. There's politics to more politics times 4. So that's just a portfolio of responsibility in if we were to become Republic of Australia, if League for a Public Democracy were able to put forward what they want to put forward. And you can see that in more times 2 in the structure of rollout, how we would the beginning stages of rolling that out with other portfolios of responsibilities and policies that we would put forward in that. So there's politics there to more politics times 4, but all political brands to this day and the way they have voted has been an absolute disgrace. That concludes the live broadcast today. And once again, thanks for listening. Current Chief President Harry J. Stirling for Republic Democracy of Australia.